my name is Keanu, and I'm going to the interview.
All right. Let's rock and roll, my brother.
Well, can you tell me something about yourself? Like, where do you come from, and how'd you get into education?
Those are big questions.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I grew up in Rubidoux, which in the 90s was kind of a hood of Riverside.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to Mission Middle School, Rubidoux High School. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, I'm a person who believes that we all have a calling, we all have a purpose, and so I knew from a very young age that I wanted to be a teacher. Matter of fact, currently my little brother lives with me, and he's like, "You remember when you used to make me be your student, and you would give me one gummy bear if I had the right answer?"
Mm-hmm.
So I started as a teacher at a young age. But when I was in high school, my English teacher adopted me. So I moved in with her when I was a junior in high school. And so I think that that was the beginning of me actually becoming an English teacher.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy because I'm actually from Riverside originally. I was there for like most of my life, and then I moved out here with my mom.
Okay, what part of Riverside are you?
More of like Norco-ish.
Okay.
And then sometimes we go deeper in.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But like, what was your first impression of Moore? Like, what was your first idea? Or like, how could you make it better? Or was like, well, this is a good enough school.
Yeah, well, to be honest with you, coming up through the neighborhood, I was like, wow, this is like
fancy.
This is different from Rubidoux. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? I was like, this is like the lick.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I got on campus, I was like, wow, it's a really beautiful campus.
Mm-hmm.
But to be honest with you, my first mindset was like just trying to assimilate and become part of the culture, part of the family here at Moore. I think that when you come with a deficit mindset, like how can you fix something,
Mm-hmm.
then you're not going to really be able to take it in, if that makes sense. And I just really wanted to come and just take it in.
Mm-hmm. Don't fix something that's not broken. You know. Well, how are you settling in?
It's a new altitude. Being a principal is a new altitude,
and it's a middle school.
It's a middle school, but I'm transitioning from a middle school in Moreno Valley, so the needs are kind of similar. But outside of that, I think you just got to give yourself time. So I'm trying. How do you settle in? You just settle in. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Okay. Well, what are your plans to promote a positive school culture and like environment?
Yeah.
I see that's your like goal pretty much.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. You can't talk about it. You got to be about it. And so my bottom line is, I'm a positive person, so I just tend to bring positivity. So with that being said, Moore Middle School is already a pretty healthy place, but I think we've been away from each other for 14 months.
Yeah.
And I think that matters. Like, you got to get to know people.
And plus the sixth graders, they haven't even been on campus for like a while. And even last year, maybe a few, but like wasn't really like a full year.
Yeah. So I think one, you got to be about it if that's what you want. If you want a positive school culture, you got to walk that out. But then secondly, you got to get to know people and get to know people's stories.
Yeah. And you're trying to like promote a positive environment, but like lately it's been like a little wild at like lunches during passing period. How are you trying to address that?
Yeah. Well, a couple of things. I mean, first you got to be understanding with the fact that, like I said, we haven't been with each other. What have people been exposed to in the last 14 months? I mean, I know some kids have been at home by themselves. You know what I mean? And like you said, sixth graders are just now coming back. They used to be fourth graders. You know what I mean? So this probably takes them by storm. So I think the first thing you have to do is you got to educate people. Like, what are the behaviors that you want to see and why? Right? It's 2021. Like, people want to know why. Like, why can't I twerk in the street? You know what I mean? So, we got to explain why. And then you got to get people on board. So the bottom line is, like, when we come to school, like, we got to be the person today that we hope to be tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Be about it and actually, like, follow through.
Yeah. And people got to know that you love them. Like, this is not just about a pound of flesh.
It's not like about, I'm trying to help you out, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, during passing periods, I've seen that you've introduced, like, the music, and then you've introduced lunch detentions, right? Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, so pretty much the bottom line is I want students to know that being on time is really the way that you want to live your life. And like I just previously said, like, we have to be the person today that we hope to be tomorrow. Like I told you, my alarm clock didn't go off this morning. You know what I mean? So the idea is that when we go to work, we want to be to work on time. And honestly, like, this is what we do. Like, you're here every day, right? So respecting that. When we're on campus, like, what's the rationale for why we can't be in our classroom? We got
Yeah.
5 minutes. So the music is really kind of a motivator,
Mhm.
and it also triggers us to know, oh, I got to get to class.
Mhm.
So really, the lunch detention is ineffective. The part that makes it effective is when you educate people on the importance of being in class on time.
Yeah.
And so that's the piece that myself and counselors are working on is
Yeah.
you don't just stick people in detention.
Yeah.
That's antiquated. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
But when you educate people on the vision and why you want them to be on time, then they begin to okay, I get it.
Mhm.
And my brother, that creates the positive school culture
Yeah.
that you were referring to.
Well, since you've been trying to promote a good environment, good culture at our school, like, what is your vision for the school? What is your end goal?
Well, I think one of the things you've heard me say is that at Moore, we're gift givers. I mean, what does that really mean? We have a responsibility not only to each other, but to our families, to our community, to actually go out and be the people that we say that we want to be. And in 2021, the really interesting thing about the new generation is that, they know who they want to be. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, this whole idea of being a gift giver is about not just being this for yourself, but being this for, the future generations that are coming up underneath you. So let's say hypothetically, like you want to be a professional skater. Like you're not just being a blessing to yourself, but you're blessing generations of kids who didn't think they could make it. But if you made it, they believe they can make it. And so this is the idea of giving kindness, giving respect, and giving effort.
Yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to say to the more Monarchs?
I mean, I just feel blessed to be here. I'm blessed for this opportunity. Sadly, in everything, we got to take the bitter with the sweet.
Yeah.
So the positive school culture is the sweet, and sometimes the bitter is the fact that, we have to be accountable to ourselves and to each other. And so this is where the rules come in. You know what I mean? But I wish that I could remove the rules, but what would the world be if we had no rules?
Hectic.
There you go, my brother. I appreciate this time with you.